going on, guys? My name's Hawkins. Today we're putting an oil catch can on my 1996 Acura Integra. We'll do it right this time. This little guy right here has been the culprit for so many comments. But you guys said instead of just installing a breather filter, I need to put an oil catch can on that also has a breather filter. This is the proper way to do it. I don't know how hard it is, but we're gonna find out. So we gotta figure out a way to put this on. Maybe we can just like stick it on there or something. I don't know. We'll find a spot for it. There are a few things I learned. First off, I discovered I had a PCV valve because my old one was clogged. I replaced it, but instead of replacing it back to the air intake, I replaced it with a breather filter. The breather filter bypasses the air intake, allowing the exhaust fumes or the bad gases in the engine to breathe out into the atmosphere instead of being burned by the engine. And the PCV valve reduces the pressure put or built up with inside the engine. This kind of bypasses the proper way to do it. And apparently it's bad for the motor and will spray oil everywhere and can cause problems. So we're putting this in, which is an oil catch can. So it's the same thing, but instead of just spraying oil into this, it's gonna drop oil down into the bottom of the can. And then we're gonna have our intake and our exhaust, quote unquote. And then we're gonna have our little breather filter at the top, which I did not bring the right Allen key to remove. It's what multi-tools are for. So let's see if I can make this work. We have a couple things in this kit, including a breather filter and this metal stuff. I'm gonna take a guess. Say that goes in here. Maybe to reduce oil splashes so it doesn't get into the filter. I'm not sure. This goes in. Now this one came with an actual filter housing, so I'm gonna use the one it came with rather than the one I bought. So we're gonna use this attachment, put the filter on, get fancy O-rings. I'm gonna put this O-ring on the edge. I believe this filter is our new breather and it's just gonna screw into the top. That's easy. And of course we should have the right tools, but a multi-tool is gonna have to work for today. All right, that's tight. This is our little clamp for our filter. This is gonna make sure it doesn't pop off. And yes, you guys are in a tree. So we have our catch can and our filter installed. Now we have to install our inlet and our outlet, which are gonna be these two pieces, assuming I use the hose they gave me, which actually fits great. I did not buy a separate hose, so we're gonna have to use this. This should be pretty simple. Put the O-ring on and then. So previously I had replaced the broken PCV valve, which you see now, with this PCV breather filter. And I made a YouTube short about it. It's linked at the top right now. You can click on that and see what happened. This prompted me to put the oil catch can in. All right, now that we have both connectors installed, we can move on to the next step, which is connecting the actual PCV valve to our oil catch. All I gotta do here is remove my old filter from my PCV valve, like so, this little thing. We're gonna put it back in the car, and it just goes in right here, just like that. Now, previously, we had the old one blocked off with this rubber hose. It is no longer blocked off with this rubber hose. Keep this simple. All we have to do is take each one of these nozzles, this nozzle and this nozzle, and connect them to these two ends. This is our outlet, which is gonna go into our air intake. And this is our inlet, which is gonna go into the motor. At least I believe that's how it works. This is such a beautiful place to work. New Hampshire is absolutely gorgeous in this weather. If you ever want to come visit, fall's the time to be here. Something I should also do is figure out where I'm going to mount this thing. And I have absolutely no idea where I want to even begin to think about putting this. We could put it on the firewall, yeah, or we could not, and just bolt it in somewhere stupid. But I feel like it definitely needs to be relatively close to everything. Ultimately, I decided to put it close to the PCV valve. It should have gone over by the air intake, but due to the hose that it came with being so short, I didn't really have many options. All right, I think I found a spot. So our inlet goes to the engine. No, that's gotta be perfect. So that's our inlet, and our outlet is gonna have, yeah. All right, this is the big moment. I'm gonna cut it. You know, I guess it wasn't that big of a moment. Keep a sharp knife. Here's what we're doing. This pipe is going to go on here. No, that's not tight at all. Crap. We're going to reuse the clamp from this breather because I did not think to bring other ones. This is going to get a clamp. Man, I had a crazy week this week. I got to go to the Gillette Stadium as part of an ISPE meeting. ISPE is the International Society of Pharmaceutical Engineers. Remember, my job is sales, so I need to be updated and in tune with these things. And I got to try to kick a field goal. I was unsuccessful, but I got to try, which was awesome. So we have some tough decisions to make here. I only have one more clamp. That was an error on my end. This pipe has got to go in here. Feels pretty tight. And then this pipe's got to go here. And then we're done. And then this thing is just gonna sit right down in there. I'm gonna mount it somehow like that. I think this actually needs to be shorter. So let me adjust that real quick. Take that here. This is bad for your knife, but here we go. So this, honestly, I'd rather have on this piece here and on the intake. Because worst case, if this goes in and this doesn't connect, then it's just going to be spraying fumes into the air. But if this or this comes undone, it's going to be spraying oil into the engine bay. I'd rather have it breathe filter air than spray fumes. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Doing this is really therapeutic for me. You know, I get to drive my car to a nice relaxing spot, use my tools. Unfortunately, I think I'm starting to get sick with something. My allergies have been flared up all day. Might have been from that meeting at the stadium. There were a lot of people. It was great for work, great for business, but kind of exhausting. I was there for 13 hours. Work day where you got to kick field goals at Gillette Stadium, that's work. Still work. 13 hours is 13 hours. We're gonna call that one more twist. Good, that's not gonna come off. That's not gonna come off. That's good, that's good. That's tight, and that's okay. I got this mounting bracket for it, but I don't really have a good tool or method to mount this right now. So I came with a backup plan. Zip ties. Don't scream at me, I know it's not proper. We're gonna use some zip ties. Zip ties come in so handy so often. Put this here. This is a wiring harness. This is not meant to be mounted off of. This is a terrible decision. Don't do this. Why are you doing it, Connor? Because it's easy. There's also an actual metal bracket here that I'm gonna go around. This is my power steering hose, but honestly, I got rid of power steering a long time ago, so it doesn't do anything. So we're gonna round the power steering hose as well. All we gotta do is clip this excess zip tie off. Now, theoretically, we should be all set now. That's my throttle. Throttle cable going around the PCV. Probably should have done that on the other side. You know what? Whatever. This is fine. Everything's fine. All right. Oh, catch cans on. See how it runs. Okay, so while I diagnose this, I want to explain what actually happened. Remember that little tube that had that bolt screwed off in it that I removed? Yeah, you're not supposed to remove that. That's on the wrong side of the air intake before the throttle body. I'm supposed to put the return valve before the throttle body, from my understanding. Oh, we've run into a little bit of a problem. For whatever reason, the motor is idling terribly. That little thing that was blocked off before might not actually be the right spot for this. So I think all this is a matter of finding the actual right valve. This is definitely unfortunate, but I'm out of time and I'm out of light. So at this point, I just got to get this thing back home and do a little bit more research tomorrow to figure out why it was blocked off, really. Because I'm not sure why that was there. I thought for sure that was PCV bypass, but to be honest, I haven't done a whole lot of research. So all I did was take the hose off that was connected to the intake and replace it with the previous PCV breather filter that I had before. And honestly, this is a way you can install these oil catch cans. This is legit. This is what people do. Now you can definitely leave a comment and let me know if there's a better way to do it, or if you know specifically about the Integra, where the other port goes. I believe it's in the bottom of the block, but I'm not really sure where on the block it is. Yeah. Alright, hear me out. Back in episode 3 or 4 with a gutted car, we got around 8.5 on a prepared surface with good tires. But with a fully fleshed out interior with the PCV valve, we got a very low 8-second. So did this actually improve the performance of the car? It's questionable, but it seems like it might have actually helped to some degree. It could be placebo, but from the timer, it looks like it actually did something. If you have any suggestions for what we should do next, please leave them in the comment section below. We're almost completely caught up. The last video I have for the Integra so far is on restoring the exterior. That'll be out next Saturday. Thanks for watching.